Ugh. Alright, man, don't you love how dumb that intro was? Who do I think I am, bro? The idea of being chalant has kind of resurfaced recently. You know, people actually putting themselves out there. I kind of just wanted to delve into that and get into the nitty gritty of it, you know? But before we delve into it, I want to delve back into being nonchalant and where that all kind of came from. In the past 10 sort of years, it seems the idea of being nonchalant has really made its way kind of to the forefront of our brains. As a culture, it feels like we kind of shifted towards this idea of being, you know, low key, try not to draw too much attention to ourselves. We want to feel calm and cool. And to get this out of the way right now, I know people have been talking about this, like this has been a thing for a while, how everyone wants to fit into one box. But I don't even really need to be talking about this because High School Musical already solved everybody's problems. But for real though, I think most of us have been affected by this nonchalant shift in one way or another. I think this change kind of started back around 2015-ish when we had these cringe police type of YouTubers starting to pop up out of nowhere who would make fun of people, sometimes lightheartedly, sometimes not. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me show you something real quick. Do you recognize this kid? Do you remember this moment? If you don't know this kid, you're a toddler. Nah. But seriously, if you don't know this kid, this is Misha, or the Pokemon Go kid. He went viral in 2016 for a song called the Pokemon Go song. Now, he was 9 when he made the video and song with his brother. And, you know, it was a pretty lighthearted song. You know, he was talking about how he wanted to play Pokemon Go every day and how he was going to catch them all, you know, stuff that a child would do. But when I tell you that this kid got torn apart by the internet, you best believe it. You know, the video sits at 100 million views right now. And at the time, it felt like the entire internet had decided to bully the crap out of this kid. Definitely a moment. You know, I went back just to check it out. The song isn't too bad, you know, it's a song with a kid singing, so it's not great, but, you know, he's still making music, which is awesome. Insane to come out of being bullied by, like, everyone as a child and still continue with your passion. So, Misha Florian on Spotify. Get after it. And these cringe callouts would stay prevalent on YouTube for years. I think a lot of us sort of internalize this moment to a degree, like one wrong move and you might have the entire internet on your back. But in a much more, you know, realistic sense, it was one wrong move and people might think you're weird or corny. I think a lot of us started noticing cringe a little bit more after like this kind of cringe culture would integrate itself into our lives. There's a lot of good hand movements. I'm gonna keep it in. Getting back to being nonchalant, it feels like more of us are becoming the same, if that makes sense. Like we're all sort of developing similar speech patterns, similar mannerisms, and more stuff like that. I do think the internet and social media is gonna make us more similar to a degree just over time, but it feels like it's been put into high gear as of late, and I just want to talk about how I think it's a little bit dumb. In Neil Brennan's 2024 stand-up special, Crazy Good, he talks about how generally the best athlete in any sport is the craziest. Something like that, there's a trend. Tiger Woods, Lance Armstrong, among others. And yeah, I am using a stand-up special as a source. What are you gonna do about it? But that was his bit, that was pretty funny. But I do think there is a trend of people who are great at what they do also being kinda crazy. I think Dennis Rodman will probably go down as one of the most interesting people in history. Greatest rebounder of the NBA, one of the most aggressive defenders of all time, fashion icon, married himself, among a bunch of other crazy shit that I'm not gonna have time to talk about. I think the reason a lot of these crazy people tend to make it is because they don't really care what anyone else thinks. Like people don't have stuff holding them back, they kind of just go for it. The reason they can get into that flow state so easily is because they're unencumbered by doubt and sometimes reason. Like, do you think Dennis Rodman cares what anyone thinks of him? He knows who he is better than anyone else. I think Dennis Rodman is definitely one of the most chalant people of all time. Like, he's definitely fearless in all aspects of his life, whether that be a good thing or a bad thing. And I do think there is a relationship between being nonchalant and fear. I think just being nonchalant and not really going for it is because it can be the result of fear, you know? Fear of sticking out, fear of trying, which is completely natural. Also, I want to make this clear that I'm not dissing people who are just chill and low-key. We're all different, and one person chalant could literally just be like going for a walk one day. You know, this video is just a Trojan horse to tell you to go for it or really try. I think this nonchalantness or being low-key has affected us in other ways too, specifically music. Do you remember when $1 Million Baby by Tommy Richmond came out? Because I do. I remember my friend playing it for me one day, and I thought it was one of the catchiest songs I've ever heard when I first heard it. I started listening to it a ton. I couldn't get enough of it. Then the song started popping up more and more until it was eventually everywhere. And at that point, I'd started to get a little tired of it because I'd exhausted it so much. Then one day, me and a friend were driving, and I had one of my playlists on shuffle when, guess what, $1 Million Baby started to play. And I felt embarrassed, like I was too good for it, since everyone knew it and it was labeled a TikTok song. I felt dumb for liking it. I remember my friend saying something like, "Come on, bro." And I switched it. Dude, I might take some flack for this next take, but I don't care. I'm gonna be chalant about it. Have you ever listened to the full version of Anxiety by Doechii? Hear me out. Ain't that bad. Kinda hard. It's kinda hard. Give me a sec. Like, pushing past the prejudices and the a million times that I've heard it on Instagram and TikTok, it ain't that bad. It's alright. Just because the chorus can get annoying after you've heard it so many times and it was everywhere for a couple months, I understand why people hate it, and I do not like the chorus, I'll say that, because it gets tired pretty quickly. But I still think it's pretty good. But even, like, not the chorus, the rest of the song, the parts where she's actually rapping are pretty good, man. I think it's just because we all have this collective idea about the song. Like, you probably think I'm a little bit corny for liking it right now, and that kind of illustrates my point. I'm thinking the same thing too. Let me just play this video for a sec so you understand what I'm talking about.
Bro, turn this off, turn this off. This is like the ultimate TikTok song, switch it up. Okay.
No diss to this creator either. I mean, this is a funny video and he plays this character pretty well. It's funny. But this attitude of trying to stick to the norm and not liking what people don't like can limit yourself, you know? Like, it can push us closer to being complacent and similar again. And if we have tiny battles like this every single day, you can see how you'd be inclined to try to not stand out. If you keep losing these little battles where you're like, oh, I don't want to stand out for liking this. And if that keeps happening every single day, you can see how it would push you into just being like, what up? Nah, that's crazy. You picking up what I'm putting down? I'm kind of freestyling here, so I really hope I don't sound crazy. I think I used most of this video to set up my next point though, is that nonchalant, or being nonchalant, is boring, man. It's so boring. Like, thinking back just in my personal life to like my best memories, all of my favorite memories, most of the time I'm being chalant, you know? Like, I didn't laugh my ass off when my friend made a joke and I just said, nah, that's crazy. I laughed my ass off because I bought into the joke and we had this back and forth of just this stupid joke, but it was awesome. Even thinking back to moments where I had personal success, my attitude most of the time during that is kind of a fuck yeah type of attitude, not just a aight type of attitude. Even shit that didn't pan out, I was still stoked that I went for it, that I tried it. Trying is such a good thing. I put an effort out and I was out there living, and it feels awesome to be bad at something, you know? It's a gift to be bad at something because you have so much progress to come. I don't really have a grand conclusion to this video. This idea of chalantness has just been bouncing around my head for a bit and I just kind of wanted to get it out there. And of course, it does seem like we're going back to being chalant. I've seen reels and TikToks about people saying, hey, go be chalant. Being nonchalant is boring. And I love that. So I don't know. Go try something. Go be chalant. Whatever that means for you. Thanks for watching. Have a